Away from Springfield, and we're back
on Route 66.
Boy, Missouri looks a little different than the Mojave Desert or New Mexico. This is the part of the old Mother Road that I've never done before, and I'm pretty excited about traveling through some new territory. Ooh, making our way to Marshfield, Missouri now. I've never been here before. Looks like a pretty substantial little town, and thank goodness, because I needed some gas. I was getting pretty low there. That would have been pretty embarrassing had I run out of gas on the highway. Whoa, what a cool looking town. And look at this courthouse. Hubble, Hubble, Hubble. Literally, it's a replica of the Hubble telescope. Huh. Turns out that Edwin Hubble was born here in Marshfield, Missouri. He's the guy that the Hubble telescope was named after. He discovered external galaxies. I was born in Anaheim, and I hope someday to at least get a little plaque that says, I think some guy was here once. I really love little towns like this. Look at this mural depicting all the good stuff. They had the Hubble telescope come through, Route 66 history, George Bush 41 once came to the town parade, and of course, the cemetery. I mean, that's a nice sentiment there, but it's a little morbid. That's so cool. Look at that little restaurant there. Smokies. Soups, salads, sandwiches, and pizza. They got it all there, and ooh, look at that. That's a very large piece of artillery here to commemorate the veterans. This is my favorite business so far over here. Rifleman Gun and Pawn. We pawn and buy guns, gold, and anything of value, including original poetry. All right, I love exploring the towns, but now it's back on Route 66. Which, by the way, in this town is East Hubble Drive, so they really like that guy. All right, there was a long and beautiful drive in between, but we finally reached Conway, Missouri. Ooh, here we are. Hashtag downtown. Conway's not very big. Look at that, the City Hall and Fire Department. Look on the side of the building. It says King of Them All, something something soda water. That's so cool. Looks like there was an old Lincoln and Ford car dealership right there at one time. Not too much to see here at the moment, but it certainly is picturesque out here. Look at these old buildings. Check out that old garage over there. That's pretty awesome. I guess we better be moving on. Yesterday I was realizing, oh yeah, I have to drive all the way back across the whole country to get back to California. So I'm trying my best to pick up the pace a little bit. Kind of hard though. I want to pull over every time I see a cow, which is often. Man, seems like the further east you go, the closer the towns get together. We're already to the next one. Phillipsburg, Missouri. As you can see, Phillipsburg is not much bigger than the last town. Post office, fire department, railroad tracks, the old store. I could be wrong, but it really looks like that says magnetic soda water bottles. Just think, when the railroad was the main method of transportation, this was the main shop in town. The old-timey American general store, maybe even a few hotel rooms up there. They're closed now, but someone left the light on. It'd be really cool to go back to that time in American history where you come shop at the small mom and pop general store like this, sit on the porch, talk to everybody in town, get the gossip. Wow, if these walls could talk, huh? If these walls could talk. Look at this. Is this an ad for bread? You can tell this building is old, not just because of the decay, but also how high the curb is. This is a curb designed to pull up a wagon to, not a car. Phillipsburg has seen an awful lot of changes because they've gone from this kind of shop to this kind of shop. There's a place in Las Vegas that advertises itself as the world's largest gift shop, but this apparently is the world's largest gift store. Would you look at the size of that building? The Redmonds started this family-owned business in 1995 with this place, this little gas station slash candy factory, and obviously their business has grown. This is the modern-day successor of all those old Route 66 businesses with the billboards every 5 miles. You're almost there, you're almost there. Only this is the jumbo-sized interstate version. Look at the size of this place. There's just something about that mascot that I like. He's got great taste in hats. And I like his stripes too. Stripes are always good. All right, world's largest gift store. Time to go in. Wow. 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 All I can say is wow. Would you look at the size of this gift store? They've got t-shirts. Sweet. Gnomes. Frogs. Slippers. There's no place like home. Jackets. Hoodies. Whatever these things are. Shot glasses and cups. Farm stuff. John Deere farm stuff.
Hillbilly wood stuff.
Cowboy hats.
Cowboy cows.
Slingshots.
Thermometers.
Drunken roosters.
Julios.
Oh, there's barely anything in this one.
T-shirts and scarves and hats and belts.
There is just an unbelievable amount of stuff. There's even an entire apron section in here.
I haven't even begun to show you half the stuff I've seen, and I've only seen half the store.
I love a good gift shop, especially when there's a horse that holds your toilet paper inside of it.
But I have to admit, the reason I came in here was this.
Now, everyone calls this the I Love Lucy Cadillac.
But it's not the Cadillac that Fred Mertz owned, and neither is it the Pontiac car they drive to California.
So I don't think this was actually used in the show. Plus,
I noticed the sign just says Lucy's 1940 Cadillac, so I'm assuming this is just a Cadillac Lucille Ball owned.
which still makes this super freaking epic.
I love Lucy. I think Lucille Ball was the single greatest influence on me in terms of funniness.
Whenever I do the "goo" thing, people are always like, "Oh, you sound like Pee Wee Herman." I'm doing Lucy.
Ooh, you remember? Oh, I love that show.
The woman was a legend.
For my money, the greatest comedic actor of all time, man or woman.
I love Lucy. I really thought this was going to be the Pontiac that they drove to California down old Route 66. Thought it was going to tie in, but no.
If anyone knows where that car is, or the old Cadillac that Lucy learns to drive,
You know, the old clunker that Fred bought. If anyone knows where either of those cars are, please let me know, because someday I'd like to see them.
this place is so epically massive that I don't know that I can even buy anything from here.
It's just too big.
I mean, where do you start? If you pick up a sock monkey and decide on that, you're just gonna want a Duck Dynasty bobblehead next.
Or maybe some sweet Funko stuff.
That actually reminds me that a friend of mine just started working at Funko.
I'm expecting some mail.
See, what would you buy? It's completely puzzling.
So many.
And I mean, oh, so many.
Weird things in this place. Look at these t-shirts.
Wow. Just wow. I mean, they are honestly a heck of a bargain.
$10 for this horse shirt? Now that's a heck of a deal.
Oh, what? I want a neon clock.
That's it. I'm overwhelmed. I give up.
Oh, gotta get out of here before I spend too much money.
I am overstimulated.
The world's largest gift store. Never thought I'd say this. Too large.
Get me back on the highway. I need those rolling hills. That beautiful little ribbon of road. I need the countryside.
Oh, yeah, that is so much better.
I think I'm ready for the next town now.
And here it is, Lebanon, Missouri.
Their town slogan is, "Our town, your town."
Seems a little forward, Lebanon. Let's not be too hasty, but judging by this list of Route 66 things,
I think Lebanon and us, we might be friends.
might as well start here at the beginning with the Public Library / Route 66 Museum.
Multitasking. I like it. I've seen a lot of Route 66 museums on this trip. Kinda want to go see a movie at the Ritz 8, but no, sticking to the task.
All right, let's go see.
Whoa, this is a nice library. Oh, I see. Library that way, museum this way.
Wow, that is cool.
I never get tired of seeing old gas stations, real or museum.
Looks like a lot of the old Lebanon, Missouri places have bit the dust.
Here's a rad model of one of the old important intersections.
I love this. It's like pulling into the Mr. Rogers version of town. A lot of the old businesses are gone, but it looks like they've kept a lot of mementos.
Wow, this is pretty cool.
Unlike a lot of the other Route 66 museums I've been into, this one seems to stick very much to local history.
Ooh, how cool is this cafe, huh?
Pretty darn cool.
Ooh, I like this.
They've set up their own version of a 1940s tourist cabin. And it gives you a pretty good idea of how they would have actually been furnished at the time,
Because they've actually furnished this with stuff from old motor courts of the time.
this is cool. We got William Lenz or William Lentz right here, and he built a giant house that also functioned as a hotel, a home and a hotel, a homotel.
Like an old school bed and breakfast, a homotel.
I guess that name didn't catch on.
Well, that was pretty darn cool. Hey, wait.
Look at that, an old squirt
I
cooler.
don't even remember the last time I saw a bottle of Squirt.
No way, weird. Look at this, before Route 66, this was part of the Ozark Trail, and that is how you'd find your way down. No signs, just some colors and an OT.
I was just gonna say how hardcore it used to be to travel in the old days of the auto camping and whatnot. You had to make all your own food, and then I remembered I have one of those in the car. I've been making mostly my own food.
But then again, sometimes I get to use a microwave, so never mind.
I like it. Every library should have that.
Oh, what the heck? I come outside and it's raining, but the sun is out more than it was before.
Welcome to Missouri, where you can get a sunburn and take a shower at the same time. Luckily, we're in one of those parts of the country where if you don't like the weather, you just usually wait 5 minutes or so. So hopefully it'll clear up in a minute. Or 2. Or 4. Just, we'll get a little while. Well, I think it's starting to clear up.
Oh yeah, that's much better. And just in time for me to see the world famous Munger Moss Motel.
I know the name sounds weird, but when a lady named Munger met a guy with the last name Moss, Munger Moss was born.
Actually, the original Munger Moss was a restaurant located somewhere else, but they moved their business here with a restaurant and gas station
And added their motor court, which eventually became the motel, in 1946.
So this place has been luring people off the highway for 71 years. What a sign.
How cool is that? Can this style please come back into style, please?
I don't know what's up with this old bus parked right here, but that is a beautiful sight.
See a lot of old trucks and cars, but not many old buses.
That thing is awesome.
There's an old bowling alley across the street called Starlight Lanes. I would give a lot to see what their original neon sign must have looked like.
I think it's really cool that they've incorporated a gift shop into the office of the motel. I love when places like this survive.
How about this sign right here? Look it. We've come 610 miles from the Cadillac Ranch, 645 from the Midpoint Cafe.
Dang, we've already come 225 miles from the Blue Whale. We got a lot of driving left to go though, so let's get back on the road.
There was some serious flooding recently on the next part of Route 66.
As a matter of fact, one of the historic markets in this town I wanted to take a look at is closed today.
Doing a little leaky roof remodeling.
So hopefully the damage wasn't too bad down the rest of the road.
But I guess we'll find out.
Watch this, look at this. See how the interstate cuts right through the hill there? But Route 66, that went up and over the hills. I mean, it's a little bit cut down in there, but not too much.
The old road moves with the landscape.
It takes a little longer, but it's a lot more fun to drive.
And when you get where you're going, you actually feel like you saw something, you know?
I mean, look at this. You don't see this from the interstate, or if you do see it, you can't stop and appreciate it.
America, America, there's a car coming, I gotta move my car, song canceled. Whoa.
I like being out here in the Ozarks, even when it's raining. It's really gorgeous. There's just scenery for days.
Oh man, there's been a lot of Route 66 on the highway.
But every once in a while, it rejoins the interstate.
You do move a lot quicker.
Whoa.
I was trying to figure out why all the signs forced me onto the interstate. So I came back onto old Route 66 and backtracked, and I think I figured out what the problem is. Road closed.
This old concrete bridge is about ready to collapse.
Looks like they did their best to patch it up over the years, but it's definitely showing some wear.
I'm not gonna lie to you, yes, this makes me just a little bit nervous.
Intellectually, I know that my weight isn't going to collapse this bridge, but still, plummeting down to the river below would not be my first choice.
Wow, I hope they can save this old bridge. Check this out. That concrete right there is so thin, I could probably put my foot through it. I'm not going to try though, sorry.
Look at that. There's people canoeing down there, people fishing over there.
It's beautiful out here.
I love Missouri. It's nice to sort of slow down the pace of things, even though I'm trying to get farther down the highway. It's nice to stop and smell the roses and just admire the scenery for once.
Wow, look at this. The weather's coming in, but check it out. An old pit stop.
See, unlike in the Southwest where the bright sunshine and the warm, dry air will preserve something, you know, almost forever, here in Missouri, where it's a lot more moist, the old truck stops and gas stations and motels will get overgrown much faster and collapse a lot faster.
So these are really a much more rare thing to see here. Look, it's like you're in the Lost World, you know, Jurassic Park style right there. All abandoned and whatnot. Oh.
I'm not a giant fan of snakes, insects, or poison ivy, so I don't know how many of these I'll really be exploring.
But wow, look at that. It takes on a whole different kind of look out here, huh? Once you're past Oklahoma, it's like a whole different thing.
This might have been an old 76 station with that long roof coming out. There were definitely gas pumps there at one time.
But isn't that crazy? The interstate, just a few dozen yards away, and this place closed up. No traffic at all.
No traffic, but this little guy.
Look at that. See that little tortoise there? He's hidden, but he's right there.
Hey, buddy. I don't want to bug him. That's his place now. You can see this used to be the sidewalk on the edge of the parking lot over to whatever this was. I'm guessing a restaurant. That close to the gas station? Probably. No clue what kind of vines those are, so I don't want to crawl under them and get them on my neck. Oh, but if we come around the side... Yeah, what do you think? Restaurant? Maybe. Look at the old flooring in there. Pretty cool. Pretty crazy. Look. Even a parking lot can't stop Mother Nature. She gets what she wants. All right, time to book it. Not only are there storm clouds on the horizon, and you never know which way they'll go, we're gonna lose daylight out here. All right, there's a little rain outside, some clouds, but let's see how far we can make it down the highway. Wow, look at this former DX station and cafe, the Gaskozark Cafe, established 1932 according to the sign. Ooh. I like how you can see trees growing up from inside of it, so it's really just a shell, but people have put plywood in the old windows and painted them like windows. Kind of cool, preserving a little bit of history and making a photo op at the same time. Oh, and there's another old building across the street, the Gaskozark store. That is pretty cool, like a little flea market antique store in there, run by a couple of elderly folks. They're really nice. They were getting ready to close, but they let me pop in for just a quick peek. That's what I like about it out here. Everybody's so generous with their time. There's a different pace to life out here, and it's sorely lacking from places like where I live. Man, feels like there's something to see around every corner. Look at that. It's nice to know I'm not the only one out here. Check this out. I can't even really figure out where I am on the map, so I'm having a really hard time figuring out what this was. A lot of ticks in the grass. Clearly, this is an old abandoned motor court. You can still see the curve of the old driveway now all grown over. Wow, look at that. Normally, an abandoned place like this would be prominently featured in books and guides, but neither my new friend back there or I could find any information on this particular one. It looks like at one point this may have been expanded and turned into a private home. See, there's two cabins there with a extension in the middle. Obviously, this is once where the sign used to be for this place. It's long gone now. No way of knowing what this was. Ugh. Except for Bugs Land. 800 ticks on my legs. That is no fun. This likely would have been either the office for the tourist court or a gas station, or both. Look at this! Someone recognized me on the side of the road, making new friends. Making friends everywhere. Well, my, don't that beat all. Family pulled over on the side of the road in the middle of nowhere and goes, "Do you make YouTube videos?" I love that. I thought they were pulling over to tell me to stay off their property. We're skirting through the edge of the Ozarks in this part of the country. My grandmother was born deep down in the Ozarks. We can actually trace that thread of family all the way back to Jamestown in Virginia, so long time. I got a weird mix of immigrants and super old timers in my family. But even the ones that came in the 1600s were immigrants. Only the Cherokee threads are really native. All right, we passed the Lakeway there. And now we're headed into Waynesville, but first I just want to show you something. Heck yeah! Heck yeah at that sign. May that business live forever. Look at that. Meat and grocery. They sell beef right there. It's a pretty rad sign for this restaurant that's no longer here too. Okay, anyway. This here is Waynesville, Missouri. Oh, looks like more dead people than alive people on this part. And I'm looking for something very specific in this town. Well, this isn't what I was looking for at all, but I still thought it was important to stop. This is Rubidoux Creek, and between 1837 and 1839, I believe, this was a stop for thousands of Cherokee on their way to Oklahoma along the Trail of Tears. One of the saddest, most horrible, most embarrassing things in our country's history. But very important to remember, not just for the people who suffered, but so that we don't repeat the mistakes of the past. Sad place. Sad place. Okay, don't worry. The next thing I'm looking for is of a completely different, much more happy nature. Downtown Waynesville is a pretty cool looking place. But what I'm looking for is a little farther out. Oh, it's harder to get to than I thought it was going to be. Look at that! Look up there! It's a frog rock! It's a rock that someone decided looked like a frog, so they painted it like a frog. Now it's the town's mascot. I'm pretty sure his name is Hopper. It's a frog rock! And I'm on the side of a very busy section of highway, and it's rainy, and there's water everywhere, and it's slippery, just because the frog rock. But you know, when in Waynesville. Alright. Alright. All right, moving on. Oh, here's St. Robert, Missouri. It's like a sister city there. Those two towns were basically only separated by that frog. Uh-oh, what the heck is this? I see dinosaurs. Wow. Whoa. Apparently, we're in Uranus, Missouri. Home of the pirates. And you know what we got in Uranus? Fudge. We've got fudge in Uranus. No laughing. It's the Uranus Fudge Factory, right off old Route 66.
It's not a joke. There's really a fudge factory. Oh, look at the sign. That's okay.
Oh, heck yeah, this rules. I didn't know it would be so nice in Uranus.
Oh, look, it's the famous alligator boy. Ooh.
Two-headed rabbit, double bunny, ant candy, a real unicorn skull. Oh no, what's this? The rat boy has died. This place hurts my brain.
Ooh, two-headed goat. There's the fudge. There's the fudge from Uranus.
I'm not surprised that it made me giggle to get fudge from Uranus. What I am surprised about is that it makes the people that work there giggle. Oh, they've got a gentleman's club in Uranus too. Now 100% not checking that out. But the guy that works over here at the Jurassic Diner just told me that this is the brand new world's largest belt buckle. The previous title is held by a restaurant in Texas, but Uranus, Missouri is in competition. Yep, here I am with the world's largest belt buckle, and just look at it. One of those days that makes your mom proud of you. A town named Uranus that sells hot dogs and fudge and has a little diner with dinosaurs and a police car to serve and protect Uranus. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to run a family show here, people. This joke is getting a little thin. Dang, it's a pretty cool fire truck though. I promise you all, I knew nothing about this. I was not expecting this today. I don't make this stuff up, you guys. I just report on it. Back to the highway. All right, back on old Route 66. Look, there's Judy's place over there. Not much else out here. Just a couple of houses and one very narrow road. The road was so narrow here, actually, that when traffic increased during World War II, they had to bypass this whole area. But this is the original old Route 66, and you can always tell by those distinctive curbs that it has on the side. And that was to keep water inside the road so they could choose where it ran off instead of, you know, eating at the edges. Kind of overgrown here, so I don't think we're gonna be able to see it, even though we parked in the right parking lot. But this is Devil's Elbow, Missouri, and way down there is a river. It takes a sharp turn there, and there was a rock that used to stick up and used to frustrate the heck out of all the river boats. So they used to call it the Devil's Elbow, and it was still a particularly difficult stretch of Route 66 to pass because, as you can see, it's quite hilly up here. Well, maybe we'll get a better view lower down. I wish it would stop raining on me. Ah, see, down this big old hill. Right into downtown Devil's Elbow. What a downtown, huh? Way more mosquitoes than I see people out here. Crossing the famous Devil's Elbow Bridge now, and you can see if you look down there, a lot of wreckage along the riverbank. Some of it's way up in those trees. That's because of all the recent flooding I was talking about. Look at that beautiful view out there. Wow. Anyway, all of this was underwater. Some businesses and houses had up to 6 feet of water inside of them. And one of those that was pretty heavily damaged was this place, the Elbow Inn. Remember the Munger Moss Hotel? Well, Munger and Moss had their original sandwich shop right here. Look at that. They had to pull everything out from inside to dry off. That's crazy. They had tons of water in this place, and they have to totally start from scratch. Luckily, the bridge didn't completely wash out. The building is still here, and hopefully they'll be back in business soon. The inside is not open, but they are serving cold beer out on that patio. I don't drink beer, so I'm moving on, but if you're thirsty, stop on by. It's so awesome that so much of the story of Route 66 is the story of survival. The American spirit. We can survive anything. Now, like I said, during World War II, the traffic increased along Route 66 over here, and they had to move big old military convoys. So they had to greatly widen the road, which is why right here, Route 66 is 4 lanes and much, much flatter than the old path that we just took. Look at it. It almost looks like a modern freeway, doesn't it? No shoulder, the weird median is kind of strange, but it's getting there. Kind of crazy to see the evolution of a freeway, which is something we totally take for granted, you know? Look at that. There's absolutely nobody else out here. That's wild. At one time, this would have been packed with cars. All right, passing Devil's Elbow there, the big piney river again. And speaking of the evolution of the highway, this right here was a very important
step. Remember how earlier I was talking about how Route 66 mostly goes with the land on top of it instead of cutting through like an interstate? Well, look at this. This is called Hooker's Cut, or the Hooker Cut, depending on who you ask. We're really close to Hooker, Missouri. And this is one of the early places where they just went straight through the mountain. It's not the earliest one or the only one, but it is one of the earliest examples of Route 66 becoming a 4-lane highway with, you know, a median, a divided highway, cutting through the mountain instead of going up and down or going around. And this was the 1940s, so this is the direct precursor to modern interstate construction. Oh boy, here we go. And that's pretty much the only car we'll see out here for a while. Wow, that's awesome. This was to help those big military trucks, instead of having to climb that hill, they could just go right down the center. Nowadays, we see this all the time, so this is a big so what to us, but at the time, this was an engineering marvel. People passing through this couldn't believe it. Can you believe this, Ma? They put the road right through that mountain. Few people but the locals use this, so no one even bats an eye when they're coming through here now, but like I said, at one time, this was a wonder. Look at the size of that cut. This one gargantuan triumph. Cut that dang old highway right through that dang old mountain. And they don't even charge you nothing to look at it. Dang, that's a heck of a deal. Okay, time for us to get off the side of the highway before we die out here. It's pretty cool getting to stop and see things like that. I like finding those things that not that many people care about. As much as I love Disneyland, you know, or Knott's Berry Farm, or heck, even Uranus. There's something about those places like that with no sign, nothing to tell you, it feels special, you know? It feels like it's our little secret. Whoa, came down the road a ways. Completely lost the trail of Route 66. This is like, you know, Route P or something. People have been asking me a lot, like, well, what if you get lost out there looking for the old roads? Well, if this is the kind of thing I get to see, then heck yeah for getting lost. Look at that. That's gorgeous. That's a beautiful, beautiful view. Now let's just hope we don't hit any deer out here. All right, after quite the detour, I finally made my way back to the correct path and into Rolla, Missouri. Look at that over there. The old totem pole trading post, now antiques and market. Kind of drizzly over here now. Wow, it's still open. I don't think they're selling gas out of these pumps anymore. Wow, the sign says since 1933. You gotta obey the signs. So that's 1933, and that's the original totem pole still in here. So this is the oldest operating mom and pop business on Route 66, huh? In Missouri. Wow. That's amazing. That's an amazing piece of history. Ooh, look at all those fireworks. That's awesome. Oh, upstairs. Especially with the drought, we're not allowed to shoot any more fireworks at home. How long has this building been here like this?
Well, this one has been here for over 40 years.
Wow. That's awesome. They don't make them like they used to. Those are freaky devilfish.
When they're alive, their heads are a bright orange.
What?
And their faces is the pale yellow.
Scary. Yeah, that's some of the old school stuff in there. That's really cool. Lot of history here. And a lot of wasp nests. Or hornets, rather. Either way. I don't want to get stung. That was a very friendly guy in there. A little bit of a weird place inside of there. But it's Missouri 66's oldest business. Or so they claim. Ugh, well, this day got a little soggy and moist. But I just pulled over and got off the phone with something that's going to make me feel a whole lot better. Unfortunately, we've run out of time, so you're gonna have to wait till tomorrow to see what it is. Ain't I a stinker? Look, the whole gang's so excited. I'm sorry to keep you in suspense.
But for now, you've done your duty. You can go home and sleep well.
Well, I did it. I ate some fudge from Uranus. It's pretty good. Route 66. I don't make this stuff up, you guys. I just report on it.